Alright guys, so a little issue going on here. We lost the top, and it would be very easy if you would have the top, or a top would fit, but normally they're all different types and different brands, so it's highly unlikely. Um, but I'm gonna give it a go regardless. But here we go, you see. Um, it's just a completely different brand. I mean, if you're lucky, you will find, but it's a needle in the haystock or stock, or cool. No, anyway, let me take it down. Put on a new plug. Gives you people an idea how it's done if you haven't done it. It's not rocket science, but it involves some skill. So Phillips screwdriver, where you can purchase this. I will put a link in. You can buy them on Amazon or eBay or wherever you want. And then you take off that little cover here. So the reason for here is that it holds down the cable. So if someone wants to rip it out, or it gets stuck and rip it, then it doesn't rip out the cable. So it's quite important, not useless at all. Now what we've got the fuse. We're gonna take that out, and we've got here the life, which is brown or red if you have a very old-fashioned plug. Oh wow, someone with a lot of feeling went for that, that's for sure. Jesus, that's very tough. Over tightening is also problematic, because if you over tighten it, you can cut the wire, and then you will have problems. So everything needs to be done correctly. Not finding the right screwdriver, unfortunately. Right, so that was definitely over tightened, but that was under. Yeah, it's a good mix of everything. Yeah. Now this is not too bad, because this is a factory lead. You can say this is for the factory, so they put the grimped it here. So if you over tighten it, you can't really cut the wire. However, if it goes into too deep, I don't know if you can see, then it will cut into this brass, and and it's just not good, because it makes the wire actually thinner a little bit, and less electricity can go through. Now with an oil radiator, you have to be very careful, because this takes a lot of current, so the wire needs to be designed correctly. Now, and this is the magic here, and that's very, very important. Now this is perfectly cut by the factory, and if you need to do it yourself, because you have the isolation, then you could take the isolation off the wire. Be very careful to just cut it very, very gently, and then try to move it and turn it, because if you cut into the wire itself, it's going to be a problem. And to cut this isolation, if you don't know what you're doing, it's not that straightforward. So cutting very gently with a very, very sharp knife, or ideally with a scalpel, but just little gently, and then bend it, and wait till it pops, and then cut in a little bit further the other side as well, because if you cut into these wires, it's not good. Now this is the neutral. This is the neutral. This is the line, like L, and this is sorry, this is the earth. I apologize. This is the earth. It's yellow and green, but in other wires and in old wires, maybe this is just bare copper or aluminium. This is the neutral, so it's an N. This is black in old money. This used to be black, and this is the life, which used to be red in the old wire. So now we have brown, blue, and of course the earth. It's yellow and green. Yeah. Now the reason they changed the color, it's very, very simple. Black and blue, black and red is for DC. So it's for battery current, power supplies, everything which has a polarity. Now this is AC, so that pulses between the two lines by 50 hertz. Every second it switches between this and that. With the DC, like the battery coming out of a car battery example, or your Walkman battery, or any electron, almost any electrical item, a laptop power supply. These are all DC. So the polarity is very, very important. Now, but I want to say here, this is the most important thing from it all. When you cut this, this must be longer than these two. Now, you kind of have to make them longer anyway because of the distance. Yeah. If it's that short, like the brown, it wouldn't be able to fit here. But you can make it fit. It's not longer that is fitting here perfectly. You know, the reason it's longer is if you somehow pull this out by an accident, or you trap on it, and this breaks, and the wire comes out, these two gonna kill you. But they can, not going to, but they have potential to kill you. Now, this is the earth. This is gonna save your life because the wrong electricity or current goes here and goes down to the earth. So that must stay in this plug the longest. So whenever those two pulled out already, you still have a lifesaver here, the earth, which gonna whack the fuse, the RC in your fuse box. So it's no problem, because if that comes out and one of that is touching the other, it's gonna blow the fuse. And this is very, very important for the RC to fail by 30 milliamps difference. So if that comes in at the same time as these two, you have a problem. So that stays in longer, just a microsecond longer or half a second longer when you pull it out, because the wire is longer, of course. And by the time these two coming out, this is the last coming out, and this is precisely what you want, because this is a lifesaver. Now, if you have equipment which is not metal, mostly plastic, like a DVD player, or like a modern television, then you don't need the earth, because with plastic you can't electricize yourself. You can't really stick to plastic, except you warm it up and put your finger in it, but then you're stupid. Yeah. But with metal things, like washing machine, fridges, water heater, well, maybe water heater is a bad example, but toaster, something like microwaves, they all must have the earth, because it's a lot of metal in it. Welding equipment, these kind of things. So it always worth to check. Not that a cowboy did something at home and then you get caught out. Now, I don't buy plugs. I just chop them off for all the equipment I find on the street. This one was one of them, as you can see. This served 20 years somewhere already, but it's a perfectly fine plug, and I don't really have money. I don't really have money to waste. So I just like to reuse everything, except of condoms. Those I don't reuse, but I'm barely using. You know what I'm saying? So it's let me do the conversation in a different direction. That didn't have a fuse, so let's pop in the fuse. 13 amps. This is heavy duty, takes a lot of current, so make sure this amp is 13 amps. Which I didn't check, but I assume it is, because it is from the factory. So, but let me check, because not that someone already popped it and we have a problem. It must say 13 amps, and it does say 13 amps, as you can clearly or not clearly see. Hopefully, this is a pain in the back here. Yeah. Anyway, if you can't see it, trust me on that. It's 13 amps. This is the highest you can go in a normal domestic socket. The kettle is 13 amps. Your washing machine will be 13 amps. Your hair dryer will be 13 amps. Everything, your dishwasher will be 13 amps. your cooker. No, your cooker is a different story. That's not 13 amps. That's going to be more, but that's a different story. Let me not get into that right now. But if you want me to do a video about a cooker, then, you know, put down the jeton and we can talk about it, you know. Videos on request, £20 a pop. Huh? We all have to somehow survive. And this is so crazy because in all my YouTubing, I only find one person who actually sent me any money, you know, out of send me money via live show, a live YouTube show. The rest are just freeloaders, people who don't, you know, they just want to get everything for free, which is absolutely fine. But example on TikTok, people do pay. People do pay. They send them little roses and stuff, and the other person can then take money out. So I think YouTube should really push that. But then again, if I have 14,000 followers, over 14,000, and this video is not really sent out to any of them, then how would they know that I'm online? So I think TikTok is a smarter way to do it. They just have those videos running, and that they send the videos out to people. I think this much smarter than relying on searches, because of course, who would now want to watch a live video? A guy is doing a plug. I mean, it's like, you know, it's kind of boring, isn't it? Now, this is something you shouldn't do, but since I know what I'm doing, I can. It's quite difficult to put that wire in there. So the brown or the red will go where the fuse is. So this is live. This is the live, L for live. That always goes where the fuse is. Right now, we can put in the black, the brown one. Sorry, the blue one. And now, last but not least, we're gonna put in that green one. It's nice to work with the factory wire, because this that little bronze little cover for the wire is very handy. If you have to put the wire in to these holes, it's a bit of can be a bit of a pain in the neck. Now, and obviously you make the pull test now. So live comes out the first, because that's where the danger is, the live one. So this is the shortest. If it comes to an accident, then it comes out the neutral, which on itself wouldn't harm you a lot. Without the live, not much gonna happen. And then obviously the latest is the, and don't poke, if you don't know what you're doing, don't poke too much with the screwdriver, because you're gonna damage the wires. But I put up like 2,000-3,000 of those in my life, so I'm quite confident with this. Okay. Again, get the right screwdriver. And then tighten this up. Don't go too crazy, because if you go too crazy, you're gonna break this plastic, or you're gonna put it to almost break. Yeah, and that's something you don't really want, because this is again quite a lifesaver. Yes, and then, you know, just put that on. It should sleep in. Very careful you have to be, not to trap that wire, that wire, don't to trap in here, because if you have to put it here, this gonna punch it against this one. Happened 1,000 times. I see that all the time. It cuts the wire. A little bit, so you have only the half of the size available. The wire gets hot, and that's where the plug gets hot, and if you're not at home, house can burn down, and so on and so forward. So I'd say doggies for tuning into the channel. Learn something new. 0 viewers, 0 likes. That's what is wrong with the world, because these videos should be pushed, should be first, and not the bullshit, not the makeup, not the stupidness of people. But of course, YouTube is not built for smart people. YouTube is built for stupid people who don't know shit to come up there and check stuff out. Now, I appreciate that, but this is where it fails, because a video like mine, where actually someone teaches somebody something, should be first, and not some rubbish where someone whistles, example, or someone puts on a fake eyelash. Who cares about that, really? How would that save your life, to be able to put on a fake eyelash, or how to tan yourself and stuff like that? I mean, I'm not against women. There's plenty of other idiotic things men do as well, but those videos are live, and those videos get the millions of followers. This way you actually can learn something, and this can save your life, because if you do it correctly, you're not gonna die. If it's cold in you can do something. But all these experts, all these idiots, when push comes to shove, as Noel Gallagher said, when push comes to shove, they're all gonna rot and die. While me, I'm just gonna fix that, put it into a coconut tree, and I'm gonna retrieve electricity.